Yeah. The fanatic. Well, we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call it.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Show for sports fans by sports fans. It's your boy Coach I, and I got the stat guy riding high off that SEC Tennessee victory. What's up, stat guy?
What's going on, man? You know, I'm riding high, but hey, man, we heading into rivalry week, and if we talking rivalry week, we gotta talk Iron Bowl.
That's right, man. I think the Iron Bowl and Ohio State, Michigan are the top two college football rivalries to me. There's others out there that can get some claim to fame, but not as much as these. I mean, when you got a guy, hey, man, rest in peace. When you got a guy from Alabama that's going to poison the trees down at Toomer's Corner, bro, it's serious. And when we talking Alabama, man, y'all know I got to bring my guy in. Let's bring him in. Johnathan Lewis, what's going on, J. Lou?
Another day, man, another day. Thank goodness this week's coming up. It's our Super Bowl this week. We're just going to leave it at that.
Listen, South Carolina opened the doors for a lot of teams. We don't know what's going to happen, man. Hey, if USC don't...
Rat poison. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Listen, man. Jonathan's YouTuber too, man. Go ahead and tell the people where they can find you, John.
College football, Johnathan Lewis on YouTube, and then at College FB Lewis on Twitter.
There it is, man. We're going to jump right into this, man. Just quick recap, man. Auburn and Alabama had, the traditional, week 12 cupcake. They both handled business. So there's nothing much. It was Austin Peay for Alabama and Western Kentucky for Auburn. So
yeah, Alabama didn't look too convincing against Austin Peay, though.
Yeah, I know you wasn't happy with the first half.
No, and it comes back to the same thing I've been saying now for probably like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Play calling, man. Play calling. I got my days on the calendar marked for the exodus of Bill O'Brien is what I'm calling it.
Listen, I seen some Twitter rumors that there was some NFL interest for Bill O'Brien.
Hey,
so I know it. I was about to say, I know you happy about that, man. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it, man. Auburn offense versus the Alabama defense. Listen, we all know what Will Anderson is, man. What's crazy is we thought he had some gaudy numbers last year. His numbers are still really good, really good, just not compared to himself from last year. You know what I mean? But how you feeling about this Auburn offense? Tank Bigsby and the other guy, I forget the other running back. He's pretty good as well.
Well, you summed it up. It's the Auburn running game against, Alabama's defense. Because Robbie Ashford, feel bad for the guy. He's not it. 6 TDs, 7 interceptions. He's thrown on average like 19 times a game with a 40% completion percentage. I mean, you would almost think the wide receiver is playing quarterback at times. So, and look, I'm not trying to clown the guy too much. I have zero respect for Auburn, of course, as an Alabama fan, and always will. But to some degree, you got to respect what they have done with Cadillac there at the interim position. I think that he's made them fight a little bit. He's brought the best out of that team that you can squeeze out of it, because there's not, let's be honest, if Tank Bigsby didn't get that check he got from Auburn to come back this year, this team would be in more trouble than what they already are right now. But Auburn's going through a lot. And look, Alabama's not been impressive. And people are talking about, well, Alabama's only 2 plays away from being undefeated. Yeah, well, they're also 4 plays away from having 4 losses. So people don't want to talk about that. So, there's nothing impressive. But when I look at, I got Bryce Young and I got Will Anderson. I got Kool-Aid McKinstry. You know what I mean? I got these guys, and I look at, they got Tank Bigsby. And their defense comes to play every now and then. But who am I going to trust more, even with Bill O'Brien calling plays? I'm going to trust Bryce Young making the adjustments versus Bill O'Brien calling the plays. And against the Auburn offense is just completely one-dimensional. I haven't seen a team this one-dimensional in a long time. And I get it. It's kind of not to their fault. So
yeah, Notre Dame might have something to say about that one-dimensional stat.
Right.
Stat guy, give us the numbers on that Auburn offense and the Alabama defense, man.
Yeah, so Auburn's only scoring 24 points a game. They do run for 196 yards a game. They only passed for 181, so 377 in total. They are strong leaning on Tank and the run game.
That's right. And I heard an interesting stat. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago that Robbie Ashford's in the top 20 in accuracy of passes over 20. The problem is he don't throw many passes over 20, 20 yards, over 20 yards.
Are you serious? That's really a stat?
Right. He's second to last in passes under 20 yards accuracy, but over 20 yards, he's like in the top 20. It's crazy, dog.
That man's Zach Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, no, you're gonna be starting on it. Yeah, it just I think this is, like I say, it's at Tuscaloosa, back to back. No, it is going to be interesting to this effect, though. Auburn is fighting for, respect, whereas Alabama is going to have to fight off to say we're not going to Atlanta and we're not going to the playoffs. Statistically, I know people are going to bring it, 15% chance. They can still no, shut up. Alabama's not going. We're playing for a good bowl game, right? And I'm hoping that Will Anderson, and I'm sure they will, Bryce Young and these guys, will come out and be ready to play against Auburn, even though there's not the usual, getting ready for Atlanta or getting ready for the playoffs going on.
Yeah, I think Alabama, that's what they have to rely on, is that hate for the dislike for Auburn, because there isn't much to play for other than those slim chances you talked about. On the other side, like you said, Bill O'Brien's leading the offense. I still think Bryce Young, he won't win the Heisman, but I do think he still is the best player in college football. Yes. That's just my personal opinion. Stat guy, give us the Alabama offensive numbers and the Auburn defensive numbers.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest, for J. Lou not liking Bill O'Brien, it's not like this offense doesn't do things. They're averaging 40 points a game. They're averaging 200 yards on the ground, another 272 through the air. So they're averaging 472 yards a game with 40 points. I'll take that in South Carolina any day of the week and twice every Saturday, please and thank you.
Yeah, but something that's misconstrued here is that you do realize Bryce Young does audible out of play almost 70% of the time, right, at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, see, that's the thing about it.
Hey, that's what it is. But hey, in any event, the offense is definitely scoring. What you gonna say, Stat Guy?
I was gonna say that's just good coaching.
Yeah. I'll let you have them over there in South Carolina.
Oh, they got their own OC issues going on over there. There's a lot of OC issues going on in college football this year, man. What is the Auburn defense giving up other than everything?
Yeah, I mean, 27 points a game, 172 yards on the ground. They are only giving up 211 through the air, so a respectable 384 for the game. But still, man, the run defense is going to have to figure it out. They're going to have to get pressure on Bryce Young. Could be a long night for them Tigers.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we're coming off of, strong run performances. Jason McCullen's kind of showing out to be that dude now. Jamar Gibbs got injured against Tennessee. So, it's not really being talked about, but he's been injured. And then when he has shown up at practice, he's kind of had his butt chewed out by Saban about not putting forth effort. That's how Jace kind of got the sole starting position from that people haven't really been talking about either. But, yeah, I feel like, I've been defending Bill O'Brien for a long time. It's that guy. 2 years, man, I've been defending this guy. And to see us struggle to move the ball unless the play breaks down or we finally find a run game, right? Our offensive line is best when we're running the ball, not when we're passing the ball. And then we get away from it for some stupid reason, and that's how these games end up super close, in my opinion. It's a struggle, man. And I can't even – I don't know where to start with this game. I don't know what's going to show up to the game. That's I don't know what the script's going to look like. Do we run the ball? Do we pass the ball? Who knows? It's a toss-up at this point.
It is, and that's kind of why I think that's the frustration for the Bama faithful with Bill O'Brien, because you just never know what he's gonna call.
No identity.
None, and you got a lot of talent. Just before we get to the predictions, give me your assessment for the season on the pass catchers for Alabama.
I think so. I'm kind of mixed on this. I don't put a lot of weight. I don't put a lot of blame on the wide receivers like a lot of people do. I get it. People are going to say, well, the separation and all this stuff, route running. And I understand that to a degree. But at the same time, when you go back and watch these games, man, and you watch the schemes that are put in place and the calls that are played, we have 10 sets that we run. It's the same thing every game. Texas kind of exposed how to slow down Alabama, and everybody's used it ever since. There's a reason why, like 4 to 5 games, it's all been within a field goal at the very end, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious how you slow down Alabama. And we've never moved away from it. We've never gained an identity trying to run the ball. And if we do run the ball one game for like 300 yards, what do we do the next game? We run the ball for like 6 times. Yeah. And we throw the entire time. So, as a whole for the season, as far as the wide receivers go, the inconsistency, the lack of, being out there with Bryce Young and gaining a rhythm has just been a struggle all year.
I think that's the biggest thing, the rhythm.
The rhythm, it's hard, man, to figure out what's going to happen. And the reality of the situation is a lot of these big plays, a lot of scores that come on, if you go back and watch Alabama football this year, it's come off of the breakdowns, right, where Bryce Young is basically turning into Patrick Mahomes and having to figure something out, and that's when the receivers make the big plays. I don't think it's on Holloman Wiggins, the wide receivers coach, at all. I feel like we have playmakers, Ja'Cory Brooks, Jermaine Burton, these guys. You know what I mean? I look at Kobe Prentice, Isaiah Bond, like all these dudes are 5 stars. They're 4 and 5 star guys. You can't tell me we missed on like 10 dudes. That's not the case. So It all comes down to one thing. In my opinion, we have a top 2 quarterback in the country, right? We have the talent at every level, right? Bryce Young is, when he's not getting the time, he's rolling out, he's having to make plays with his feet and all that stuff. So it can only be one thing. It's the scheme. It's this put in place just isn't working for the receivers. It clearly isn't working for the running game most of the time. So I'm going to hold my reservations on these guys. Now, there have been a lot of drops. I will say that. More so at the beginning of the year, but it seems like it's kind of cleaned up a little bit. But Ja'Cory Brooks will have 1 or 2 every now and then. But, you're going to have those. But they're just highlighted because of the struggles on the offense. So
that's right, and that's why it's hard to predict this game, but we got to do it anyway. Stat guy, what is the over-under and the point spread on this game, man?
Yeah, so the over-under for this game is going to be 49. The spread is Alabama favored by 21.5. And this 30 CBS game being played in Tuscaloosa.
Wow. Listen, one thing I can say, though, is you guys have played more consistent at home than you have on the road, and this is in Tuscaloosa, and Auburn hadn't beat you there since Cam Newton. So how you feeling about that point spread, Jonathan? 21.5, man.
I think it's a lot. Considering, we've beaten Austin Peay, it feels like, by 3. So, and I feel like Cadillac Williams he's going to be in those dudes' faces, all right? He's going to tell them all how much they suck. Look at the TV. No one believes in you. Everything else, it's still Alabama-Auburn. Every time I say we should blow them out, it never happens, dude. We could be up, 21 points at halftime, right? For Cam Newton decides to score a touchdown and turn the whole game around. Not that they have Cam Newton. But I'm saying I'm tired of Bo Nix, right? I'm tired of talking about this stuff of we're supposed to be blowing teams out.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore, guys. We don't have the right, I don't know if it's personnel coaches in my opinion, to do that. And I feel like with that being said, if I had to go back and look at the Vegas odds for the year, us making that, it's probably about 20% of the time, the spread. It's not very often. I mean, go back and look. It's not very much. I do know that. So with that being said, I don't think we're going to reach the 21.5. Maybe 17 at best, in my opinion.
You thinking like a 31-14 type deal?
I'm along the lines of. I'm thinking along the lines of we'll go. I'm going to go 31-17.
Okay. Stat guy, what you got on it?
So I'll preface this by saying my favorite moment in Iron Bowl history, or my favorite performance in Iron Bowl history, was a young man that went for 26 carries and 204 yards with 2 touchdowns to lead his team to victory. That man being a junior, Cadillac Williams, who would be leading the Auburn Tigers onto the field Saturday. Give me Auburn 24-20. over Alabama, ending
Lord.
Alabama's tiny bit of playoff hopes that my South Carolina Gamecocks breathed back into them by doing something they couldn't do, which was beat down Tennessee.
Well, I don't know if I share your enthusiasm for Cadillac Williams, but
yeah,
he was a great player. Yeah, he was a great player, and they're playing off of emotions, kind of, like a lot of teams do when their head coach gets fired, especially if you didn't like the guy. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I think Auburn will come out and try to play their best ball, but at the end of the day, the Jimmies and Joes are just on the Alabama side. I'm in the line with Johnathan. I don't think they're covering that 21.5 in this rivalry. No. I think it's going to be more like, I'm going to say 34-17. That's what I'm saying. I think they 34-17 Alabama. But the 21.5, God, it's a lot of points.
That's a lot.
Bro. There's a lot of points in the rivalry. Yeah. If I was betting on this game, I definitely would probably take Auburn in the points. Just because that's, like you say, been inconsistent too on offense. So.
All season. The X factor, the one thing to watch in this game is going to be, where's Jahmyr Gibbs going to be? Is he going to be lined up? Is he healthy? Is he back on the field right? Because if he's on the field, he could stretch things out a little bit. Auburn doesn't move east to west too fast, and that could be a problem. So
yeah. If Jahmyr Gibbs is playing like he played, to start the season, they could possibly cover the 21.5. I don't know, but I think Tank's on his way to the NFL, and he's gonna try to put down a monstrous game. It's gonna be him against that defense. Really, I think he's gonna take the challenge. I've always, Johnathan, I've always liked Tank Bigsby. So
same thing, me too. Even though he plays for Auburn, and another thing on the line here, Alabama's 10-game win streak for the season hasn't happened since 2007. That'd be broken. So first year Saban got there.
So, hey, listen, Auburn's got a lot to play for. I don't know if Alabama has as much enthusiasm other than they just don't like the other team across the field. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's enough. So we'll see. Alabama fans, Auburn fans, get in the comments. Let us know your score predictions and your keys to the game. And drop a comment on how much you hate the other fan base. So, before we get out of here, J. Lou, tell them where they can find you again, man.
Oh, man. YouTube, College Football, Johnathan Lewis, and Twitter's at College FB Lewis.
Hey, Stat Guy, party remarks.
Hey, man, I said all I needed to say. Go Cox.
Look at the Gamecocks out here giving people hope at the playoffs. There it is,
I know, man.
For J. Lou, Stat Guys, Coach I, man, we out of here.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fan at it, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?